Sweet. All right, let's see. Oh, so the best angle ever, but it could be better. Fucking chair out of here. Okay. All right, now we can get my rolly chair. Work on it a bit. Grab the rolly chair. So I'm kind of in frame right here. Okay, that's mute. Mic's probably shit. So is the webcam, but well, let's see. Okay, so you've got the good. I kind of want this here. I might build something out of a fucking pizza box, actually. Or I want it like this. Let's see. Okay. So the light, I go over here. This. So if I have it like this, then you can't see my backdrop. I want the backdrop in there. I need a bigger camera for this shit. Oh. Okay. So it's good light there. That's decent light. You can still see the backdrop. We could get you like right about like here-ish. Because if I'm the main thing, no one's even in here, so I don't need to worry about. I can talk to myself all I want here. So what if I move this light to here? That looks a little bit better. And then, because the main thing I'm going to be working on is going to be here. So if I have my project kind of right here, say hello, Walter. Hello. Yeah, I don't have it plugged in, so it's not going to work. But let's see. That's perfect angle there. Oh, but you can't see my potted plant. This is like the whole purpose. It's like if you can't see the potted plant, I may as well not even be live. There we go. Now it's fucking million views. Holy shit. Okay, now this needs to move. My fucking hot glue. Okay, this is actually a lot easier to see and set up if I've got it. Okay. So there's that. This needs to be like perfect. I don't need it to be perfect, but I want it to be perfect. Okay. Oh. Okay, so kit and caboodle. I don't know what to do with it all. I feel like it can just sit behind me. That's more than fine. I feel like this is a really weird setup right now. I don't know why. Let's see. What else can I do to kind of make this spruce? I mean, it doesn't really matter. I should make like a thing to, if it can fucking be like up like this. Oh, that'd be so much better. Oh, dude, fuck. Wish I had a fucking webcam or something. Soon. Sooner than later, that'll happen. Why not? Okay. Dying of heat. Oh. Should I try and make? I don't think I have enough popsicle sticks to do that. Make a computer stand. I don't even think it'd be strong enough to do that. Because if I want, I need this to come back there, and then I can kind of tilt this up a tad. Sure. Works out. Can't really see my cool license plate up there, but well, my $40 license plate. I got some zoomies. Stupidest purchase. I don't know if I'll post this. I think I will actually. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna post it. Fuck it. I'm gonna post it. Posting everything. This is Walter. This is gonna be the new. Well, I have this book and I want to go through it and find a project that's gonna use this because I want the distance sensor, but I don't give a shit about the temp and humidity sensor. So this can just go away because I need to be able to work with well, my whole goal is to be able to visualize data on a screen, but I want it to have a purpose. So I don't like, obviously this has a purpose. I can use this joystick to move it left and right, like X on an X and Y axis. And I mean, it already has data implementation, so it's running from my Arduino and it's talking to the Raspberry Pi. So all of the sensor data that's going from the Arduino, that's getting collected by the Arduino, goes back into, or gets decoded in UTF-8 format, which is the reader for the specific database, which right now I'm using SQLite. So SQLite on the Raspberry Pi, and then I SSH onto my computer, and then I can visualize the data. But I want to do something with that. Like, yeah, great, I'm fucking plotting data, but like it's pointless. It's basically like running around in circles pretty much, because you're getting data, but what's happening with that data? I want it to be like doing some kind of function. So like have like an end goal, so I can kind of like it's almost going to be like a Pi vision where I'm going to be taking those tags, that data tags, and just like I want to have it on like a graph format where it's just, nice. But at the moment, I need to disassemble this and I need to rethink what I want to do for next semester, because currently I'm on break. I got 3 weeks break, so we're going to figure out what we can do in that 3 weeks time. I might, and by might, I mean I'm probably going to stream most of this stuff. So, yeah, because I'd like to have, I'm doing this more for myself. Obviously, I'm doing all of this for myself. I want to have some kind of visual and like, just like a timeline of how I progressed, because I've been doing the TikToks or whatever, the shorts, and never really done anything like that. So I'm just going to take my time because I don't really know what I'm doing here. But I'm not an idiot, so I can figure it out. I'm just going to film myself, probably say stupid shit along the way. But that's the whole point of learning. We got to do dumb shit, fail, blow some stuff up. Probably going to see that I'm probably going to blow hella shit up. Like everything's going to get, I probably shouldn't say blowing stuff up. I'm going to blow up my components safely in a controlled environment. And by controlled environment, I mean my dorm room. And that's usually the most controlled environment any aspiring computer programming or engineering student has. I'm sure many kids in the past have evacuated their entire building because they've been doing some wild shit in their dorm room. But that's not going to come into play here. And I've got Hedwig looking over me. So Hedwig's going to be the mascot. I might turn him into he's going to be the main mascot of this whole thing. So he watches over me and he makes sure that I do things right, with air quotes. So I think to begin with, I'm going to take this apart. I'm going to de-wire everything so I can get rid of this breadboard. And then I'm going to draw up some conclusions as to what I think I can do with this. Because, I have a good baseline for X and Y axis movement. I have distance calculations for whatever type of metric that I need or whatever unit. Can just change that in the code, show the code later in a different thing. Because I don't think I'm going to kind of get into everything today, because I just want to get a good fundamental basis of what I'm doing. The best part about this little thing is that everything comes apart. So you got your all the little modules, everything kind of comes apart nicely. You can take this whole thing off. If I take out all these wires, which, what the hell, there's so many. Okay, So then that happens, and then this should just slide out. There we go. She's nice and in there. So make sure I get that out. Boom, that's the breadboard out. Get rid of all those wires and all these things are kind of just in my way. Just a big pile. I don't really need those. That's coming from the joystick, which pops out too. Everything pops out nicely. And now I need my get rid of this, get rid of that. Semi-organized. This shit. Getting the hiccups for no goddamn reason right now. So now if we pop this off. So now it's just bare bones. So now I can kind of do what I need to do to get this thing working. Or like this is just the skeleton. This is the frame of it. Look at that. That's a work art, isn't it? I know. So I want to have something that's going to be worthwhile because I think I'm just going to get rid of this top section here because this was for the this was just for the humidity and temperature sensor. I don't need that anymore, so I'm not gonna use it. I'm gonna use something different. But what I have to use, I don't quite know yet. I'm sure I'll figure that out eventually. Where the hell's my thing? Anyway, trusty little pry bar here, and by pry bar I mean my kitchen knife because this thing's been working wonders for me. So, I mean, when it comes to hot glue and popsicle sticks, you don't really need to be too specific. You can kind of do what you want, be crazy with it. So, let's see, what's a good way to start? I mean, I've got a good base. Let me just get all this shit off of here. Yeah, why not? There, that's fine. This is what I want to keep the same. I'm going to keep this the same. This main section, so this section is going to be the same. Obviously, this is going to stay the same. But I'd like to have some kind of build out here to house my Raspberry Pi a little better. So if I can house that Pi a little bit better. And I was going to have a look. I have this sensor kit, and I don't know quite what I want to do, but I do know what I want to do because I want to have some kind of system integration with security. So I kind of want to use this. This was something that I really wanted to use. It's obviously, for people that do this kind of stuff, this is a RFID tag reader. My phone is exploding. Sorry about that. I had to answer that. But so, I'm saying sorry. There's nobody even watching this shit. This is basically just me being crazy talking to myself. I mean, that's what 100% of YouTube is. It's just people being crazy talking to themselves. But some people do it better than others. So this is one thing that I know I want to use, the RFID reader. But first, it has to be implemented properly. I need a proper library for this thing. So this is I want to use one of these. So this is what I'm going to use for something. Well, I want my system to be locked out until you use one of these because I'm gunning towards the mining operations here. So I have my distance set, and I definitely have, I don't think I have, I do, a metal detector. So something that's metal, but I want it to be able, so here's the idea I'm going for here. We're going to just talk about the idea. So the idea right now is that I want to have a robot that can, auto track in a room, because currently, obviously, this thing doesn't have wheels or anything, but eventually it will. This is what we're getting to. So what I can do is if I can implement this. All right, fuck, I keep getting sidetracked. This is my issue. So the idea for this bot, my Walter bot, it's going to be an automated system for drilling. So it's going to be a drilling system because this is going to be the main portion of the arm, and then there's going to be another extended portion off of this portion. But I'm going to have obviously it's going to be supported properly and it's going to be good. So I want it to have another x-axis on the end of this. So there's going to be another servos because there's currently 2, so I want 3. And then when the robot's main purpose is basically you put it in a mining tunnel, put it somewhere, and it's going to auto track where the walls are using, its distance tracking. So it's going to be able to map its area. And what the point of it is to be able to go and automatically detect. So it's going to roll up to a spot that's of want or of importance, and like a testing spot. And basically what I want it to do is that when it hits its spot and it goes, okay, I want to drill here, I want it to first scan what it's drilling for. So I want it to scan that ground and see what kind of mineral or what kind of compounds are in the ground there and what kind of elements, and then be able to scan that and then automatically pick a drill bit out of a cylinder, because I want to have a cylinder that spins where there's multiple drill bits, and then the cylinder basically it'll automatically detect what kind of ground it is and how hard it is, what the viscosity of everything is, and what the density is and the volume of what I'm drilling into. And it's basically going to be core bits. And you take those, it basically takes that reading through something like this, through like a metal. This is just bare bones version. Obviously, these are just cheap Arduino parts. But if you're using like $1,000 metal sensor, obviously you're going to be able to penetrate deeper. But this is just a proof of concept. So if I can take this and be able to detect, say, okay, we're drilling into something that's like granite or like a kind of I don't really know rocks. I'm not a fucking rock guy. So, which I need to look into. Obviously, I need to study up on the different kind of densities of rock and what the kind of different kind of elements and properties that are in like surface level, between mid-level, and like going deeper into the ground, because I'm sure shit changes as you go deeper into the ground. So what I want to do is have it sense for that metal. I'm taking fucking forever to get to my point, but bear with me. I want it to take that I want it to sense that data, send it to the drill bit, and basically auto pick the proper bit for that specific material, drill a core, save that core, put it into another spot, and be able to process what that is, and then send that data back to an operator on a screen somewhere. So the operator is basically just sitting there as the robot goes around, and then finds its spot, and then it starts to drill for that specific stuff. So that's basically what the main portion. I'm mainly doing this for myself so I can look back on this and be like, what were my ideas again? Because I don't know, I'm gonna get lost in stuff and fucking forget. Because I have 3 weeks until I start my next semester, basically, because I just finished my first year, which went really well. Not that anybody gives a shit. No one should. It's my life. Who gives a fuck? So basically what I want to happen is just like, give me these 3 weeks. I want to just get a good idea of what I want to do. Maybe I can figure that out over here. And if I get any ideas given to me, then that's great. But for the time being, I'm just going to kind of work my way into here and try and get this thing working to the point of where I can, because obviously it's stationary. I can't move it. So the automation part's going to be kind of years down the line, or maybe a year from now, not even, maybe next coming semester, I'll buy some Arduino car kit and convert it onto here. Or I'll probably end up building a whole new prototype, because this is just a piece of shit popsicle stick prototype that I'm probably going to end up 3D printing anyways. So this is going to happen. Whether I like it or not, it's going to be popsicle sticks. Who gives a shit? I mean, I have thousands of them. They're relatively cheap and free, and the best kind of fastener for it. Hot glue, baby. This shit is a fucking hobbyist dream right here when I used to build planes and stuff. small model planes, that was what my dad and I, we didn't use super glue. We obviously used airplane epoxy, which you have to mix together. It creates heat and then it melts the stuff together. Kind of the same point. It's the same kind of thing. This is kind of like the same shit I did when I was like 5, when I would rip apart computer motherboards and just, throw them on a piece of cardboard and be like, Circuit City, look at that. Now I can do this stuff kind of on my own and I can figure it out, make it work. And I actually can visualize the data and actually make it important and actually make it do something that's worthwhile. That's my whole thing. So the whole point of this, I think right now, is to just get a list, because I don't want to do anything on here right now. I think it's just going to be an extended out and really boring. But I think what I want to do is we're going to get an idea, because I definitely want, so ultrasonic sensor is a go. We're definitely using this, right? Metal detector, definitely going to be using this. Now, the thing is what I don't have, which I don't know how to make it. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. I do know how to make this. I'm just being lazy. If I take, so I have one of these things, which is pretty neat. If I can actually find where it is. So something like this. So we have a stepper motor. I also have, just a regular motor. But I think this is kind of the thing I'm going to have to use for the time being when it comes to drilling, because, it'll just be a tester. The only thing I want is for this, because this is also it's easy to attach things. If I can have something that pressure fits onto here, then I can have multiple things that pressure fit onto here. And like, if I talk, I can kind of write it. I can kind of draw it out. I don't. Obviously, ideas come and go. So I'm just trying to brainstorm, but you kind of want it to be as simple as possible, least amount of parts. But I'm just thinking, like, it would be better if I just kind of overbuild it and then maybe kind of step it back once I'm like there. So we can, and also I need to add another one of these. I need to add a second joystick because I have 2. But I want them to be here. Boom, boom. So there's like a little control deck that this goes on. Maybe I'll do that for a short or something. I'll build like a little control deck that can kind of house this and this. They just kind of slide in the same way I did this. I'm going to do this thing the exact same way. I might even end up repurposing this one and then just making another one, because this is just hot glued on. I can just rip it off. So I'll make another one, connect them together, make a little spot, have a nice spot for the wiring, because I'm an electrician by trade, so I'm kind of anal about how my wiring is. Clearly not yet. With that first model, I like using the little wire connectors because they make things look a little bit nicer, a little bit easier to look at, and they're easier to kind of just go, okay, where's shit going? Like, it doesn't help that I use the same color, but I know exactly what those things. It's all offset, so I know what the offsets are. So it's only me that can read it, so no one else can really read it. So I want to make it so like a person that doesn't know this stuff can kind of just come up and go, I know what's going on. There's joysticks. Let me use this shit. So, I want to have this guy left, right, up, down, controlling this, which it does already. This controls my left, right, up, down. So, or my X and Y axis. I have it mapped to this between 0 and 1028, which is 0 and 180. But if I put it between 0 and like 256 or something, then, or 2056, then I get that 360 rotation. But I can't get that 360 rotation nicely with the servos. They're jittery unless I add dead space in there, or like a dead space catcher. So like it'll catch that dead space and it'll give me more points, more like plot points basically. So it's, instead of like 1 every 1, basically, instead of going 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to go like 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. And it's going to like, so it really has like a very minuscule, because when I pull this over, it's kind of like, it moves like a sprinkler. It's just like, it's not smooth, especially when I'm trying to go left and on a diagonal. So if I'm trying to turn it and then go up at the same time, the fucking thing has a heart attack and it just doesn't know what to do with itself. So it just dies. It just goes and it just crashes to the ground. Sometimes this thing gets launched off and it like flies to the other side of the room, but because nothing's connected, it's just this is how I want it. I want it to be able to get ripped apart relatively easily. So, I think the one thing that I'm most looking forward to right now is that I don't know why I haven't done this sooner. Go on here and just talk to myself like an idiot because I think this helps me. Like this actually is nice. I like talking to myself like an idiot because it helps me visualize what I'm talking about. Because if I'm thinking about it in my head, it's not going to really do anything. It's not going to amount to much. So when I'm talking to myself and I can see the progress that I'm making and I can look back on it and I go, okay, that's where I made that mistake. Let me just go back. It's kind of self-scrutinizing myself so I can just go back, see where I'm making mistakes or just track my time basically. Just have like a nice timeline as well for maybe any future employers who want to hire a broke college student that works his ass off. All I do is this. This is literally, I live in my room and I eat tacos mostly every day and obviously I make them from scratch. But and my pasta, I might do that little pasta video from scratch. I do random shit, I just like always learning. There's things that are in this world that you just can't get without learning. So I just, and life's thrown me enough curveballs to understand now that, no one's going to really come and save you. You got to do all this shit yourself. So that's why I've kind of been just really gunning for the best marks I can. And just honestly, it's not even about the marks for me. It's about, can I actually understand? Can I take a sensor and can I make it work? Like for instance, like this is an IR receiver. This is an IR transmitter. So this transmits infrared. This receives the infrared. Is there a way that I can, come up with an idea to, make that work? And then we've got a Bluetooth connector, a variable resistor, photoresistor, things like that. I like to know the theory before I actually start going into it. But the problem is that if you get too stuck in the theory, I get bored and I don't fucking really care about it. So I just like throwing myself into the deep end and just figuring it out. And I might break some stuff, might not. Most of the time, I'm going to break shit. Like half the time, like the amount of capacitors that I've popped, I can't count them. Like there's thousands. And I've blown up a Raspberry Pi already. Like I've had a Raspberry Pi. This is my second one already, and I've been here for a year. And I've got not even a year. I'm coming up on a year in January, but finished my whole first year at school, and I blew up my Raspberry Pi in 4 days before my final presentation, and I had to go get a new one and then redo everything that was in it because I blew it up. So, but that was the best learning lesson that I think I've ever had yet, is because I learned so much about the ins and outs of the Raspberry Pi and how it works, how you're supposed to boot the loader, the ISO, and how everything's supposed to work together, and how you're supposed to properly, your baud rate, which my guys that are in programming, they know what I'm talking about. The baud rate, if your baud rate's not the same everywhere, baud rate's basically just how fast information is being sent and received. So it's like most of the time you have your baud rate at like 9,600, but mine's at like 115,200. Like that's, if you want to have a more successful time when it comes to actually doing things, then that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna figure it out, and it's gonna either go your way or it's not. But I think for the time being, that was a pretty good. That's a good start. Why not? I don't know where to start or finish these things. I'm just gonna start and stop them as I please. Talk about what I want to do, and then actually start doing it. I think that's the main thing that I want to take away from all this is, can I actually do this kind of stuff? Do I like it? So far, I really like it. I'm a year in, so I'm through that 6-month phase of, I don't feel like I'm learning anything, because there was a time when I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, I'm looking at these lines of code going, fuck, I don't know what any of this means. What's a class? What's a method? What is an enum? What's a bool? What's all this stuff? All of these things that I didn't understand, they're just they clicked all of a sudden one day, and I was like, okay. And I think it's because that I've been going so hard with the hardware side because my brain works hardware. I worked as a network technician for years and as a electrician, different trades. I did all different kinds of things back home, but my mind is wired for hardware, and it's not wired for software, but it's getting there. It's starting to, the gears are starting to crank, and the cobwebs are starting to lift a little bit. But I think the further I get into this, the more headache I'm going to have, but the more persistence I have. And I think doing this kind of live stream thing might help me a little bit. It might help me kind of keep on and keep working, because there's times when I wake up in the morning and I just like, I'll go to the gym and I'll come home and that's it. I don't do anything else. And I think about a bunch of shit. Like I feel like I should be doing more, but I'm not. And I'm like, fuck, I really should be doing that. And I just don't. So I don't know what is gonna, like, I think that this will be a good way to get me to like push into the next stage. But I keep checking my phone, which I shouldn't do while I'm doing this. Like I feel like I should be focused. I just gotta, that's my thing. I just bounce around. That's why I like programming. Programming is my favorite thing right now because my ADHD is crazy and I need a crazy program to accommodate my crazy brain. So, we're just going to keep going, and I'm going to figure out, what I got to do to get this stuff working. And I mean, yeah, it's going to be a process, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually. So, and yeah. So I think pretty much that's everything that I wanted to share for right now. But I'll be doing these now regularly because over the next 3 weeks, I got no school and I'm just doing certifications on the side, doing some Pi Vision stuff. So, I think this will be a good thing for me just to kind of I don't really give a shit if I have 0 viewers, 1 million viewers. I don't care. If I have 0, better. That's probably better for me because then I won't get as distracted. But, 0 viewers is probably the best thing for me right now because I can just talk to myself and I don't have to worry about everything else that's going on here. And I can just, focus my mind and just get this stuff working because I have a vision. I see this already, like built out, and the drill working. And I've been thinking of this for months, like this drill idea, but it's going to take a lot of work to get it to fruition. But I think I'm going to get there. I've got enough tenacity to figure it out. And I know my trade guys taught me well. My apprentice teachers, my master electricians, they taught me persistence, and called me a retard enough times. So I figured out how to, keep being persistent and figure it out and learn. And so I think, I think we're good. We're going to be doing good. So, yeah. Thanks, nobody, for watching. Hell yeah. We'll see you never.